Hi guys, are you able to hear me? Yeah, thank you. Thank you everyone. I'm going to share my screen. Are you able to see my screen? Okay, one moment. Are you able to see my screen? Now, are you able to see my screen? Yes. Okay. Thank you, guys. So thanks for registering for my second webinar, web services performance testing using JMeter. So this is my second webinar. The first webinar was about web services performance testing. And you can check all the tutorials and webinar recordings in my YouTube channel, QA Insights. And also you can check it out, qainsights.com for performance testing tutorials. So before we get started, I would like to introduce myself. So I have around 11 years of experience in IT. And initially I was a manual tester. Then I moved to test automation. And around 8 years ago, I started performance testing. And I have expertise in load runner and JMeter mainly. And right now I'm working on Dynatrace and Splunk as well. And I also have interest in developing apps. So you can check it out in Apple Store, Perf Calc. So it is an app for a performance tester to calculate your users, how many test data you need for your test, and calculate pacing, etc. And also, I have authored two books. One book is about Excel, Microsoft Excel, and another is about HP web controller. So I'm writing my third book, which will be releasing soon. Probably next month I'll be releasing it. So you can check it out in my website for all the details. So there is no agenda as such for this particular session because we are going to see everything in practical. Because I don't want to bore you with slides. So let's get started with web services performance testing using JMeter. So if you have any questions in your mind, you can always put it in your question section, and then I'll be answering it whenever I get a chance. And also you will be getting a link. Once the webinar is completed, you will get a link with the recorded session, so you can view it later. So let's get started. So before we start working on the JMeter tool, I would like to give a high-level overview about what is web services and how you can practice using the online resources. So nowadays, if you say about web services, the main thing comes to your mind is Amazon Web Services. So that's a very famous web services term in IT field. And apart from Amazon, we have Google APIs, and all the companies, all the Fortune 100, Fortune 500, all the companies in India or across the world, they have their own APIs so that developers can access the resources. So assume that you have developed a website which is in Java, and you want to utilize some of the service from the .NET. So if you want to utilize those services from the different platform, so one of the best way is using web services. So there are multiple types of web services available. The architecture, one is the famous is SOAP, Simple Object Access Protocol, and from past couple of years, I mean not couple of years, it will almost 5 to 8 years. The REST, representational state transfer. So this is the very lightweighted and very powerful way of interacting with different platforms. So it uses JSON, JavaScript object notation, and you can talk to any platform using this JSON format. So the main language people use is JavaScript. So JavaScript will gel with JSON, and you can access all the objects in the JSON file. So how you can learn web services? So there are a lot of resources available in online. You can Google, or one of the best resource to learn web services is Swagger Pet Store. So this is what you are seeing in the screen. So Swagger Pet Store, it's a demo store, demo website APIs, so that you can access those website details using the REST or XML. So XML, initially XML was the very famous architecture for web services, but now people are transforming from XML to JSON because of its simplicity and powerful. But still, there are companies using XML because of their legacy architecture, and they feel secure in terms of SOAP. Even REST is also secured, but SOAP, the architecture is a little complex than JSON because they have multiple layers within the SOAP. And but due to integration with multiple platforms and multiple technologies, so JSON is one of the best way of implementing in your architecture. So this Swagger Pet Store has different methods. Methods means different functionalities. So you can go through this website link. I will be sharing it in the YouTube description. So here you can see there are multiple categories starting with pets, and about the store, and about the user, and about the models. So each category has different methods. So method means, for example, add a new pet to the store. So this is one of the method. So this method has post. So post is called HTTP verb. So HTTP verb is defined by W3 consortium specifications. So we have the famous is get and post. So get means you are retrieving some data from the server. Post means you are sending data to the server. So that is the main difference between get and post. Put means you will be updating some information in the existing data. So that is the put. And delete means it will delete the data from the server. So there are multiple methods available. So famous is get, post, put, delete. And there are others like options, trace available. So we can go through these methods, which will be helpful to learn your web services concept using any tool, not just JMeter. You can use Postman, or you can use Load Runner, you can use SOAP UI, Load UI, right? You can use any tool. So this will have the resources so that you can script it in your tool. So whatever you are required to test, so everything is available in this swagger.io. So this is based on the Open API standard. And again, it's a regulation. It's a standard defined by the Open API community. So here you can see in this UI, you can get everything with respect to your web services. So similarly, the better example is Google APIs. So if you want to use Google Maps in your website, you can go to Google APIs and then you can grab the code and then you can put it in your website. And similarly, if you want to develop an app for LinkedIn, so LinkedIn has their own APIs. So you can develop a mock-up of a LinkedIn app using those APIs. So now I hope you have you understood the glimpse about web services. So if you have any questions, please post it in the questions tag. So once the session is done, I will be answering it and then I will be sending it to the to everyone. So I'll give you 1 minute break. If you have any questions, you can start posting it in the questions forum. Okay, I hope there is no questions popping up. So let us move forward. So in this webinar, I'm going to use JMeter as a tool, and the version I'm going to use is Apache JMeter 4.0. So you can download it from apache.org. So jmeter.apache.org. So here you can go to download releases, and you can download the zip file. So if you download the zip file, you have to extract it. So if you extract it, you will get a folder structure like this. I'll show you. So this is the folder structure. You will get it once you extract the contents. So if you are a Windows-based user, you can launch the JMeter by going to jmeter.bat. So go to bin folder and double click on jmeter.bat. So if you're a Mac user, you can invoke the jmeter.sh shell script file. So alternatively, you can launch JMeter using Apache JMeter.jar, but I don't prefer opening the jar file. Always go for jmeter.bat if you're a Windows user and jmeter.sh if you're a Mac user. So once you launch the JMeter, you will get a UI like this. Okay, so this is the by default. Okay, let me open a new one and just save it. New file. So by default, you will get a blank workspace. Nothing will be there. Everything will be blank here. In the left side also it will be blank. The right side, you don't see anything. Only the properties of the test plan. So this is the starting point of your scripting. So test plan is the root. It's the main parent element in JMeter. So I'll just give you a high-level overview. People who do not use JMeter. So JMeter is an open source tool which will be used for, you can use it for functional also, you can use it for load testing as well. And it is free to use, free for commercial purpose. And if you want to contribute, if you want to enhance the JMeter, you can do it in go into GitHub and download the source file, and then you can modify the code and you can merge it. And many companies, many Fortune companies are using JMeter. So you need the very scalable infrastructure if you want to inject a very high load. So to inject a high load, you need multiple machines, and alternatively you can use Amazon Web Services, or you can use JMeter on cloud-based tools like BlazeMeter or Redline 13. So these are the tools in the market which will help you to run JMeter on the cloud. So we have it is based on pay per usage. So you will be paying only what you use per hour basis or per test basis. So it depends on the pricing plan on the companies. So in your local machine, you can, based on your spec, whatever processor you are using, whatever RAM you have. So based on that, it will you can inject some load using your local machine. But do not use local machine as your source. You have to distribute the testing for higher load. Okay. So at the top, you can see the toolbar. So the toolbar, which is iconic, all the options will be available in the icon format. And on the left side, this is the test plan area. So you will be adding all the elements in the test plan. And on the right side, you will get all the properties of a particular element. So in this case, I have selected only test plan. So that is why it is displaying the test plan properties. So here you can change the name, you can configure whatever information you want to configure. You can just change the options here. So the starting point is test plan. Under test plan, you have to start creating the thread group. So this is your beginning of your script. So it will execute based on how you design, top-down approach. So whenever you want to start your scripting or designing test plan, you have to start with thread group. So thread group is an element where you can specify the number of users. So how many you want to run, and what is the ramp up period, what is the loop count, and when you want to schedule. So everything you can configure in the thread group element. So in this case, we are not going to test actually, we are going to script. So we always use one user in our thread group. Okay. And so next important point is you want to add 4 elements in your thread group. No matter what, this is the best practice so that you will be reusing those elements again and again without adding it extra to your script. Okay, so I will tell you which element you want to add by default. Just right click, add, go to config element, and add these all 4: header manager, cookie manager, cache manager, and request defaults. So header manager will allow you to add all the headers for your script. Cookie manager will handle all the cookie related information for your test plan. Cache manager will handle all the cache related stuffs, and request default will have your base URL. Okay, so I'm going to add all 4. So cookie manager. So you can add in any order. So there is no particular order you can follow. You can add it in any order. Okay. So now you have added all the basic elements, basic HTTP related information. So now we have to add 2 more elements. So one is listener. So listener will display the results, and also you need to debug your script, right? So for debugging, you need to go to the sampler and add the debug sampler. So this is what I do whenever I start creating a test plan. So this is one of the best practice to get started with the designing. Then what I'll do is I will create a module, or you can say a function, or you can just to like a folder. So how you organize your laptop, right? You will create a folder, personal, music, movies, uh, books. So like that, you have to categorize your requests, right? So that you can the maintenance will be very easy. And if any new people joining your team, they also will be able to quickly go through what is there in your script. So that's one of the best practice I will follow. So start creating um, uh, start categorizing your requests. So based on your interest, you can create how you want to structurize your test plan. So in this case, I'm going with logic controller as a loop controller. So in the loop controller, I will start adding the HTTP requests. So before adding HTTP request, you need a lot of data like URL, what is the method you have to use, and what data you are going to send, and what is the response you will get. So everything you need to get it from the developers. So if you're working on web services project, definitely they will have a Swagger like interface. You can grab the information from the URL and then you can put it in your script. So now we are going to see what kind of information we are going to script. So first we will get started with a user. Okay. So whenever you launch a website, so first you will be registering or you will be logging into the website. So based on that, we are going to start with the user. So when we are going to create a user, then we are going to log in and we are going to add a pet and we are going to update a pet. So this is the workflow. So there are other methods available. So due to the time, I cannot go through every methods here. So we are going to see get method and post method. Okay. So remaining is pretty simple. You have to just copy and you have to change the appropriate methods in JMeter. So you can try it out. If you face any issues, you can let me know. I'll be able to help you guys. So as I said, first is we have to create a user. So just expand this. And here you can see the body, so which is required, and the sample data, and we have content type JSON, and there is an option to test. So if we click on execute, it will display the request URL and also it will display the response, success of full operation. So whenever you send this request, you will get a successful operation. So there is no message as such. It will just display HTTP code 200. So we are going to see how to script this. So I'm going to select the response type as JSON because I don't want XML because we are going always with JSON file. So first step is to add the header. So header is application slash JSON, and the content type is we have to copy this content type and we have to add it in the header manager. So just click on header manager and click on add and content type and copy the application slash JSON. Now do not change anything for the cache and cookies, let it be default. And in the request defaults, you have to add the base URL. So in this case, the base URL is this one, https petstore.swagger.io. So this is the base URL, not the whole, not slash v2 slash user, just the base URL. Just copy this base URL and put it in the server name. And remove the protocol and paste it in the protocol text box and remove these semicolon, colon and slash. So this is the base URL for your web services. Next step is we are going to add v2 slash user. So we are going to create a user, right? So this is the purpose, create a user. So just copy this URI and right click on loop controller, add HTTP sampler, HTTP request, and change the name. Always change the name. So do not go by the default HTTP request. Always change the name. So here, create a user post and change the method to post and copy the paste the URI in the path, and we have to send this information. This is the post data we are going to use, and in the body data, just copy and paste the information. So here you have to change because it is just displaying the ID is equal to 0, username, string, everything is displaying as a default one. So here you have to change. So you can change it to test. First name is name, and second last name, email, password, test, encrypt also, and phone number. We'll remove this special character because it's a number, and you set as a 0, and save your. Always go for click on save because JMeter is very sensitive. If you start keep on working and sometimes it crashes, then you will not be able to recover. So now it's time to test our HTTP request. So just click on view results tree and click on run button. Okay, now you can see in the view results tree, you are seeing the 2 greens, which means successful. The HTTP is successful, but we are going to see the response. So response is code is 200 and response message is OK. And here you can see the request. This is the request we have sent. This is the data we have sent. And in the response data, you don't get anything because you will get only the success message. So now we have created a user. So user name is test. So it is successfully created in the backend. So now you can access the test, and you can use this email ID, you can use this password to log in into the store, and then you can do whatever you want to do. Like you can get information about the pet, get information about the store, etc. So now we are going to see next operation, login. So as I said, first is to create a user, and second is to log in into the system. So here we have to pass the information. So we have created a test, and the password is test. So here you have to enter the details like test, and click on execute. Change the response type always to JSON and click on execute. So you will get the information logged in user session. So this is the response you will get it. So we are going to validate this. So before that, we need to add a HTTP sampler. So go to sampler and change the name, login, get call. So this is the get call. Here you can see login is get call. So change the path is this one till v2. Copy this here. So here you can encrypt also. If you want to encrypt, you can encrypt. So that is optional. So if you want to secure your password, you can encrypt the password. So in this case, I'm not going to encrypt. I'm going by default text. So now we are going to clear this view result string. So just click on this sweep button to clear everything and click on run. So once you click on run, you can see again everything is green. So create a user and login. So login, this is the information we have sent, and in the response data, we can see the user has been logged in successfully, and the session is this much. So this is a dynamic string which is generated by the server. So every time it is unique. So now if I execute again, you will see different value. So this is the first one, this is the second one. So you will see different value because based on the time, it is changing. That is how the development team has scripted the login session. So this session will be very useful because it identifies you as a user so that you can do it continuously, your activities. So you cannot, people cannot hijack your session, or they cannot steal your session by hijacking the same number. That is why it is dynamic, and due to security and due to restrict the people access, they will implement such security features in the APIs. So this information, it is must for you so that you can do other methods. Like if you want to get information about the pet or get the information about the store, you may need to pass this information. So this is a demo website. So there is no such very complex security they have implemented. But in the real projects, wherever you're working, right, in the real projects, so you will see a lot of security restrictions will be there. So in that case, you need to know what whether the right user is logged in and they are doing right methods or not. Okay, so please watch out for this dynamic strings from the server response. Okay, so assume that I want to extract this information. So I want to extract this dynamic string, and then I want to validate or I want to pass it to my next request. So to extract this information, you need to use a concept called regular expression extractor. So regular expression extractor will extract the information from the response, and then it will store it in a variable. You can use that variable anywhere in your script. So this is a little bit advanced concept. So you may need to focus a little bit here. I will repeat twice so that you will understand the concept better. So whenever you want to extract something, you have to go for a regular expression extractor. So that is the default way of extracting the information. So if you are using JSON file, so assume that your response is JSON, then in that case you can use it a JSON extractor. If it is an XML, you can use XML extractor. So there are multiple extractors available in JMeter, but mainly people will go for the default one, regular expression extractor for HTML based output. So in this case also, since this is a text, I'm going with regular expression extractor. So, so this is the request which is generating the dynamic string. So we have to right click on the request, go to add, post processor, select regular expression extractor. Okay. So it is a post extractor. Post means once this is done, this request is done, then only it will execute this. So that is the order. So here you have to see, you have to enter multiple fields so that it will extract the right information, and then it will display it in the debug sampler. So here there are a lot of options available, like if you want to apply to main sample or subsamples or main sample and subsamples, you can configure here, and which field you want to check. If you want to check the body, you can select this. Or if you want to check the response code, you can check this response code. If you want to check the headers, you can check the response headers. So in this case, we are going with the body because it is displaying in the body only. So we are going with the body option. And first step is to name your variable. So in this case, you have to go with say my session ID. Next is regular expression extractor. So to enter the regular expression extractor, you need to go to the view results tree and copy the whole string. Just copy it here and paste it. Okay. So this is the value I want to extract. So you have to go with regular expression syntax. So there are a lot of tools available in online. you can check it out how to design the regular expression extractor. There are a lot of tools. No need to write it for yourself. There are tools available. You can get the syntax and you can type it here. So in this case, we are going with this syntax so that it will extract the whatever information it is there, and then it will store it in this variable. So don't worry about much about this syntax. You can learn, and then you can it will come by experience. So do not worry about this syntax at this moment. And template again. So here we are capturing only one. That is why we are entering one here. If we are capturing multiple, then we have to put $1, $2, $3, etc. So this is the syntax. So do not change any syntax here. If it is different, then it will not work. And match number, I want to extract the first occurrence. So I'm going with 1. If it is a second occurrence, you can put second. And if you want to extract a random occurrence, you can go for 0. So we go for 1. And the default value is error. You can type anything, error not found. So anything you can type it, any message. So if this fails, it will display this. Okay, this is just a try and catch concept. Okay. So now what we have done is we entered the variable name and we entered the expression extractor and the template, and the match number is 1 and the default value. So now we are going to execute. So just clear the screen and click on run. So in the debug sampler, you can see the variable my session ID. So my session ID is 152 and it ends with 32. So you can validate this by going to login request, and in the response data you can see the same number. So what script did is it sent create a user, and then it sent a login, and it executed the regular expression extractor, and it is captured the value based on the syntax whatever we have sent, and it stored the variable my session ID, and this is the value it got captured. So now you can use this my session ID anywhere in your script. So you can add any sampler, say HTTP request, and in the name just type dollar, paste it here, and just execute. So here you can see 152 and 8662, and similarly you can see in the debug sampler the same value. So this is how you will extract the information, and then you can use that variable anywhere in your script. So if you have any questions, please put it in the channel. I will be able to answer. Okay, so I hope there is no questions. So if you want to join my JMeter class for India-based users, there is a discount, and please contact me. So I'll be able to teach you JMeter from basic to advanced concepts. And if you have any other questions in load runner dynatrace or JMeter, you can please touch base and visit QA Insights. And there is a podcast, weekly podcast I publish. You can will listen to that podcast as well, and subscribe to my website qainsights.com for more such tips and tricks. So thanks guys for everyone who were registered and who were stayed in this webinar, and I hope I will schedule next webinar in next 2 weeks. So thanks for listening and have a great day.